Welcome back to the Transfer Daily YouTube channel, and we are midway through the January transfer window, and I've got some big stories I'm going to be talking about today. And starting off with a big one, and it is Matthias Tal and Christopher Nkunku. So a few days ago I said to you that PSG have interest in Nkunku, but a deal is unlikely to happen. But now what I can tell you is that no swap deal for Nkunku has been initiated or offered by Chelsea, because Chelsea do have an interest in Matthias Tal from Bayern Munich. And Tal's situation a few weeks ago was Bayern Munich are open for a loan deal for the player. But now, a few weeks ago, this also changed to where they want him to stay at the club, but Chelsea have initiated interest now in the player. And Chelsea's point of view is that they will bid for Tal if they are given any encouragement that the player is available by Bayern Munich, which at the moment is yet to be given due to it's a very tough deal to get done. And Chelsea have tried to sign him last summer and had interest in him there, but in the recent days he did once again check on his availability in January. So let's wait and see. But now on Christopher Nkunku and Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich do hold an interest in Nkunku. This is confirmed. But any deal for Nkunku would have to cost around 70 million. So, very expensive deal to get done. But we know Bayern Munich are in the market for a potential Harry Kane successor, hence why the swap deal was discussed. But Nkunku's stance on it is he's very keen on joining Bayern Munich. So in the next hours and days we'll get more updates on this. But two deals that are tough to get done. You'd say Tal to Chelsea is easier to get done, but let's wait and see. Now Manchester City. And Manchester City, Fabrizio Romano revealed yesterday that Vitor Reis will join Manchester City, and the verbal agreement has been reached for Palmeiras and Manchester City on a package under 40 million euros, which is quite a good deal considering that we knew from the outgoing Palmeiras wanted over 30 million for one of the highly rated centre-backs out there in Vitor Reis, and a package under 40 million euros. And it will be an immediate transfer because, as we know, Palmeiras wanted Vitor Reis to stay until after the Club World Cup, but this won't happen. He will join with immediate effect, and he has set for his medical in the next days, and the contract signing will be also then. So many other English clubs were also keeping an eye on the situation and had him as a potential target. Many big clubs from Spain, Real Madrid, were looking at Vitor Reis, but Manchester City get him in. So there is two players for Manchester City, two new centre-backs in Vitor Reis and Kusanov from Lens. So what is next for Manchester City? And next for Manchester City is Omar Marmoush, and I've got an update here once again from Fabrizio Romano, an exclusive, where Manchester City have now submitted their first official bid for Omar Marmoush. As we know, for now the last week they've been working on a deal. They've already got the green light from the player. Everything's agreed there, but it's just about the fee with Eintracht Frankfurt. And this first bid is considered to still be below Frankfurt's expectations, but both clubs are still negotiating with optimism that an agreement can be reached before the end of the window. And as I've said before, Frankfurt want around 70 million for Omar Marmoush. So the fee is still being discussed, and Manchester City are pushing to get the deal done by the end of this week, which could be the end for Manchester City in the January transfer window. I mean, they're keeping their options open as a new midfielder, like I've discussed before with Douglas Luiz. Also, a fullback could come in. Now, a deal done, set to be finalised in the next days, and that is Donyell Marlin to Aston Villa. So last week, obviously, the news was revealed that Aston Villa have put a bid in for Donyell Marlin, which was under the expectations of Dortmund, but the agreed personal terms with the players last week with Daniel Marlon, and now a fee has been agreed with Borussia Dortmund, which was reached for €23 million plus €3 million add-ons. So Borussia Dortmund wanted €30 million. You've got 26, and now in the next days, the medical and the final steps to sign the contract will take place. And as I've just said, there is an agreement with the player already. So Marlon was very keen on the move to Aston Villa. And also with Aston Villa, they're still working on the deal for Oscar Minguezi. So that one is still there. Leipzig also have him a name on the list. But as well, Aston Villa have open talks of Loic Bade. So Loic Bade being linked with many Premier League clubs, Newcastle, Liverpool, Aston Villa. But Aston Villa have open talks for him as a new centre-back. And it could depend on if Diego Carlos leaves the club. But he is high up on the list for Aston Villa. But no updates apart from they've open talk, so I will keep you updated with that one in the next days. Now, one of the names in the transfer window, Martin Zubimendi, and we've got a big shock today, a few hours ago, and that is Arsenal are in advanced talks to sign Martin Zubimendi, but here's a key bit, not for January, for the summer of 2025, and negotiations are underway on the player's side as positive talks have already taken place with the player. So at the moment, it is just an agreement on the player side is what Arsenal need, because that €60 million release clause will be activated, and that is the only way to get Zubimendi out of Sociedad. And a key part in this is Mikel Arteta, as we know, a few seasons ago, he did the same with Declan Rice, where he takes a very hands-on approach in the negotiations and the talk. So, obviously, Manchester City keeping an eye on the player, but it's not really a priority at the moment. Real Madrid have him as a name on their list, but they'll not move for the player now. Next summer would be likely. But Liverpool at the moment have also shown no signs of making a move for Zubimendi. So Arsenal at the moment set to end the race for Zubimendi. But I've seen many people saying that he's signed for Arsenal, this and that. No, he hasn't agreed anything yet. Positive talks have taken place, and the final key steps are still needed from Arsenal to secure the signing. But also, new sporting director for Arsenal could be the old Real Sociedad sporting director who could play a part in this deal. So let's wait and see. But we know there's a good relationship between Real Sociedad and Arsenal. So the key steps, the final steps still needed for Arsenal, but advanced talks. And we know that Arsenal will have to trigger that €60 million release clause.